Steven Pinker, a cognitive psychologist best known for his book, The Language Instinct, has called music auditory cheesecake, an exquisite confection crafted to tickle the sensitive spots of at least 6 of our mental faculties. If it vanished from our species, he said, the rest of our lifestyle would be virtually unchanged. Others have argued that, on the contrary, music, along with art and literature, is part of what makes people human. Its absence would have a brutalizing effect. Philip Ball, a British science writer and an avid music enthusiast, comes down somewhere in the middle. He says that music is ingrained in our auditory, cognitive and motor functions. We have a music instinct, as much as a language instinct, and could not rid ourselves of it, if we tried. During the day, the sun heats up both the ocean surface and the land. Water is a good absorber of the energy from the sun. The land absorbs much of the sun's energy as well. However, water heats up much more slowly than land, and so the air above the land will be warmer compared to the air over the ocean. The warm air over the land will rise throughout the day, causing low pressure at the surface. Over the water, high surface pressure will form because of the colder air. To compensate, the air will sink over the ocean. The wind will blow from the higher pressure over the water to lower pressure over the land, causing the sea breeze. The sea breeze strength will vary depending on the temperature difference between the land and the ocean.
Sustainable job growth is a motto for many governments, especially in the aftermath of a recession. The problem of job quality is less often addressed and may be seen as hindering job growth. The sentiment "any job is better than no job" may resonate with governments as well as people, especially in the context of high unemployment. However, if the balance between improving the quality of existing jobs and creating new jobs becomes greatly imbalanced towards the latter, this could increase work stress among current and future workers, which in turn has health, economic and social costs. A recent British Academy Policy Centre report on stress at work highlights these concerns, and describes the context, determinants and You may well ask why science did not warn us of global warming sooner. I think that there are several reasons. We were from the 1970s until the end of the century distracted by the important global problem of stratospheric ozone depletion, which we knew was manageable. We threw all our efforts into it and succeeded, but had little time to spend on climate change. Climate science was also neglected because 20th century science failed to recognize the true nature of Earth as a responsive self-regulating entity. Biologists were so carried away by Darwin's great vision that they failed to see that living things were tightly coupled to their material environment, and that evolution concerns the whole Earth system, with living organisms an integral part of it. Earth is not the Goldilocks planet of the solar system sitting at the right place for life. It was in this favorable state some 2 billion years ago, but now our planet has to work hard against ever-increasing heat. It seems we live in a bizarre universe. One of the greatest mysteries in the whole of science is the prospect that 75% of the universe is made up from a mysterious substance known as dark energy, which causes an acceleration of the cosmic expansion. Since a further 21% of the universe is made up from invisible cold dark matter that can only be detected through its gravitational effects, the ordinary atomic matter, making up the rest, is apparently only 4% of the total cosmic budget. These discoveries require a shift in our perception as great as that made after Copernicus's revelation that the Earth moves around the Sun. This lecture will start by reviewing the checkered history of dark energy, not only since Einstein's proposal for a similar entity in 1917, but by tracing the concept back to Newton's ideas. This lecture will summarize the current evidence for dark energy, and future surveys in which UCL is heavily involved.
Colorful poison frogs in the Amazon owe their great diversity to ancestors that leapt into the region from the Andes Mountains several times during the last 10 million years, a new study from the University of Texas at Austin suggests. This is the first study to show that the Andes have been a major source of diversity for the Amazon basin, one of the largest reservoirs of biological diversity on Earth. The finding runs counter to the idea that Amazonian diversity is the result of evolution only within the tropical forest itself. Basically, the Amazon basin is a melting pot for South American frogs, says graduate student Juan Santos, lead author of the study. Poison frogs there have come from multiple places of origin, notably the Andes Mountains, over many millions of years. We have shown that you cannot understand Amazonian biodiversity by looking only in the basin. Adjacent regions have played a major role. We also need to recognize the broader change that is occurring in how people work, learn, and live. Increasingly, we are moving away from a linear relationship between education, training, work, and retirement as people move in and out of jobs, careers, caregiving, study, and leisure. Employers of choice remove the barriers between the different segments of people's lives by creating flexible conditions of work and a range of leave entitlements. They take an individualized approach to workforce planning and development so that the needs of employers and employees can be met simultaneously. People who visit health professionals tend to be older than the general population because illness increases with age. However, the proportion of the population who visited complementary health therapists was highest between the ages 25 and 64 years. The lower rates for people aged 65 years and over contrasted with the rate of visits to other health professionals, which increased steadily with increasing age. The reasons for this difference might include lower levels of acceptance of complementary therapies by older people. Alternatively, older people may have different treatment priorities than do younger people because their health on average is worse while their incomes are generally lower.